Hi guys, so this is one of my favourite little exercises. This is the hand touch. The hand touch is really, for me, a really great exercise because it created a really nice bond between me and Millie. It's really good for getting the dog to actually come and give you some kind of contact. So what we're looking for, what my criteria is that Millie's nose touches the centre palm of my hand. You can have them touch anywhere. You can do a fist touch or you can do a hand target. It's entirely up to you. And each one can mean a different thing from whatever you're asking from your dog. Why would we do a hand target? Hand target is fantastic for lots of areas. One, just create an engagement, connection with your dog. Secondly, it can help your dog if they're a little bit nervous in environments because you can ask for a behaviour. So you can ask for a hand target, brings them to you, brings them closer to you. But it's also, if you've done a lot of work with this, it banks good memories. So it's something they can earn a reward for. So it's a nice little exercise. It's great for recall. So if you've got a dog that you struggle on different recall cues, it can be one that you really kind of bank up some good memory to. So you can just present your hand, ask for a hand touch, and then they kind of come charging over to the hand, because again it's something that they visually see as a cue and they can come to that. So it's a really nice one to use in lots of different areas. It's also fun if you're going to do any sports. So if you want a dog that's going to go into agility, or you want to start doing some like heelwork to music type stuff, or tricks or anything like that, it's good to have a dog that focuses and watches your hand. So they kind of switch off to distractions around you and they start working with you. So again, like the check-in game that we did before, giving you eye contact and then starting to work towards following hands. So if you're sending the dog off on agility, again they start learning to follow the hand into the direction that they need to go. Another essential area for targeting, whether it's paw targeting, nose targeting, anything like that, is vet care. So husbandry, grooming, any of those kind of areas. Wearing a muzzle, for example. So once you've got a dog that's comfortable doing hand targeting or nose targeting to an object, like just a little piece of cardboard or something on the wall, you can then start asking them to, or presenting, you don't with shaping it in, but you can start presenting something like a muzzle and start waiting for them to present their nose in because they're used to targeting, and again we can mark and shape them into that. So I'll show you a little bit of how that can work, but we're going to first start just the very basic steps of how we would start this off on a hand target. So we have Millie, and as I say, she can do a sustained hand target. So she knows obviously to come on and go off, but I'm just going to play it as if she's a complete beginner, and all I'm going to do is present my hand. Now if you really want to cheat with your first time dog, obviously, like all of the exercises that we say, start off in a really boring environment. So we're just in the lounge, somewhere she feels really comfortable in, and then once we've built up and got the behaviour in this environment, because dogs learn in context, we then take it to another environment and start all over again. So we would go to the back garden, or we'd go to the front garden, and then we start progressing into other areas. But don't take any of these exercises straight out into the park with loads of distractions around you and hope to get success, because it just wouldn't work. You need to start off at a very foundational level, take incremental steps up and build the dog up for success, and also yourself up for success. So in a pretty low distraction environment, what we're going to do is present our hand. Now we can cheat a little bit and take a little piece of something yummy and rub it on our hands if we want to, if the dog's not focusing on our hand, or we can just present our hand and see what the dog does. We can shape it, so that means any slight direction, even if they just turn their head and look towards our hand to start with, we can mark that behaviour. So we click or we say yes, and we present them with a treat. If they go straight on and touch our hand, bingo, we can click and mark and then give them a couple of treats to really tell them they've done a good job. So again, you can have different levels of rewards for them. So I'm just going to present my hand and see what she does. Yes, good girl. As I say, Minnie does know this one, so it's a really nice one for her to do, but it's good for, obviously, to show you. So we're just going to present the hand again. Yes, good girl. So initially, any contact towards the hand or any direction towards the hand. So just hide my hand away. Present my hand again. Yes, good girl. Well done. And just giving her a couple of treats down there to tell her she's been a really good girl. But obviously clicking and marking the minute she touches my hand. Yes, good girl. So banking up those really good memories. And I can put my same hand, I start off with one hand, put it in a different direction, see if we get the same thing. Dog just coming towards it. Remember, when you first play this game, when I first played with Minnie, she didn't know straight away to touch my hand. So I shaped a little bit towards it, so it's just a look towards to start with, and then she got a little bit closer and closer. One piece of advice is try not to put your hand in front of them, try and actually put it to the side, because you want them to deliberately turn their head towards your hand. It really does mark a little bit more in their memory that behaviour that they've got to give you. So all I'm doing is just looking for a quick hand touch, and then we can start building on duration. So once the dog starts understanding, yes, good girl, then we can start building on duration. Now some dogs, Millie already does duration, and how I got her to duration was I actually got her to touch my hand a few times. So I actually got her to do sort of up to 5 touches, good girl, and then kind of faded it. It all kind of fades into one long touch. You can do it that way, or you can just wait it and then build up nice little pieces of duration from your dog. If they do start offering, and you can just count, you can just count in your head 10 seconds and keep counting up a little bit each time. If they do get a little bit frustrated or confused, you just go straight back to the first step. So just literally touching. Never try and get your dog, push your dog too quickly through, because you can create frustration. So any good girl, well done. So I'm just clicking her every time she touches and makes contact, and sometimes, yes, adding a little bit of duration in there, but not every time, because I want to create some nice banked memories for her. And also set her up for success, so it has to be a little bit easier as well. Okay. Once your dog starts giving you good hand targeting, don't try and move it on too quickly. Build up some duration with it before you start adding too much movement. So I can sort of move my hand over, but you notice my hand's still still when she's touching it. Okay. And then once you start getting duration of where you can count, 10 seconds, 20 seconds and more, you can then start building it up so that you ask for some movement. And look, you can see wherever you move your hand, the dog follows, because they understand hand targeting, okay? But this is really sort of building it up on some steps. So how do we then transfer that to something else? We can shape it into putting their nose into a target of other areas. So just using the muzzle just to show you. Millie, as I say, she does do this quite well. So obviously she's using, I'm not using this potentially as a muzzle right now, I'm just using it as a target. So it's in my hand, she knows to target my hand, so at the moment she's just targeting an object. And that's all it is to her at the moment, it's just an object. And then we can eventually build it up so that we can clip it on. Rather than me taking a muzzle or taking an object and forcing it onto the dog, we can actually use the hand touch to become something that they associate with another object. And you can see her nose go straight in. Good girl. But that does take a few steps obviously to build them up into it. So the hand target is really good, but it's just to show you how you can progress that hand target into other areas and really set yourselves and your dogs up for success. So I'm just going to finish on a really good one for her, just following my hand. I want her to have a nice solid contact. Good, nice, good girl. And giving her lots of little bits of food there to tell her she's done a fantastic job. So thank you very much for watching. Go have fun with your dog.